What's going on is the Wolf, and we are back with another episode of the Wolf Has Spoken podcast, the universe's most known and fastest growing podcast.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I'm extremely excited today. You know, we back to just the two of us.
Yeah.
Myself joined by my guy Q. But I'm gonna tell why I'm excited. I'm excited because we have another sponsor, and this sponsor came bearing food. So I don't want to waste no time because I feel like we let it sit long enough.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's get right to it. I'm gonna get up and go ahead, grab.
See how this is. We got Time Burger, and we got some. I believe we got burgers, right?
I think we got burgers and fries. But
Yeah, I kept mine simple.
Burger. It's in Northeast Philadelphia. I'm about to give you the exact address. I know it's on Bustleton Avenue, but I'm about to tell you exactly the address for Time Burger.
You got some burgers, fries. You got your cheese fries.
Official Time Burger on Instagram. So it's 9858 Bustleton Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Once again, that's 9858 Bustleton Avenue. And they're turning it into a franchise. So they're gonna have multiple locations. But for now, they just opened up. You know, I know the owners. What made me even be open to this, I know that the fries typically get they probably got a little warm. Oh, this is my cheese fries. But, all right, perfect. That's my burger. Yeah, so I know the owners. Every time I go in there, they would give me free like milkshakes. Like they didn't know who I was initially because like they're not like black. I'm not saying only black people know me, but I don't know how they found out like who I was. But when they found out who I was, it was just like an instant like, yo, let's put something together, let's collab, and you know. I'm like, we could actually sponsor you on the podcast. Well, y'all can sponsor us on the podcast. And they sent us some food, so let's get into it. We got some cheesy fries.
You got the cheesy fries.
I got some cheesy fries. Q's lactose intolerant, which I always get. So even though
And they got some
a little colder,
They got some special sauce, right?
Yeah, the Tom sauce. They cold, but I get these all the time. Like, I'm not gonna act like this is my first time having Tom Burger. Put the bag back on camera, like right here. Put it and sit it on the floor and keep it like on the floor, like.
And this is officially
On your
my
side.
first time having it.
Yeah, but I wish you would have been able to get it when it was cold and hot to give it like the full experience. But the fact of the matter is, I'm confident in the food. Like I said, I'm not just saying, oh, because they gave us free food, we trying it. I spent a lot of money here.
And you vouch for it.
I vouch for it.
Might lose respect for you, right?
We're about to see.
With the burger. Let's see.
We're about to see.
That-
Do you want to heat it up?
No, ain't that deep.
You sure you can eat a cold burger? Yeah. Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
money.
I know it's good money, nigga. What you
money.
talking about? No,
Good money.
no, look, they got some of the best cheese fries.
Double patty it up too.
Yeah, some of
Okay.
the best cheese fries and the best burgers. And you know what's even crazy about it? They cheese sticks is extremely good. This is a new spot.
From a
in Philly.
franchise.
They cheese sticks is good, bro. Like, I'm a fan of it. They milkshakes is good. I fuck with Tom Burger. Make sure y'all go fuck with Tom Burger. Like I said, 9858 Bustleton Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm looking for the ketchup though.
I don't think they gave us any.
Oh, you know another thing that you ain't even peep that they give you. So you know how I got cheesy fries, and you know how your burger got sauce on it. So normally it can get a little messy.
I was wondering what that was.
They gloves, so they give you gloves to eat your cheese fries and your burger.
Never seen that before.
Never seen it before.
I respect that.
You respect it, so you
Yeah.
get some gloves with your food as well. So make sure y'all go check out the cheeseburger, chicken sandwiches. They got spicy chicken fingers, bro. They got it all, bro. Big shout out to Tom Burger.
You vouch for the chicken fingers.
I for sure vouch for
You know I'm a chicken finger guy.
I for sure, bro. I vouch for everything they got in there.
Okay.
I'm not just saying it like I said.
Okay.
Because they sponsored it. They sponsored it because I'm an active
All right.
client.
Yeah.
I'm a supporter. I'm a customer.
All right.
But
If the food is trash, I would have said it because you know they ain't
I
paying.
gotta heat these fries up. I'm not even about to waste my time with them.
Heating the fries is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Cool. Is it heating them up?
Yeah, heating them up fries.
I know I just lied. I'm about to heat them up. But when we go back,
Yeah.
get me some fresh.
But you ready to get some topics though?
Yeah, man, talking to him. I'm gonna take a bite of my burger first.
All right, you got it. But yeah, so last episode we had a little slight, half topic
Yo,
cliffhanger.
this shit good cold.
Like I said, it wasn't that deep to warm it up.
No, it's crazy because I had it like hot, fresh off. I never had it cold. So I was mad that you had to experience it like lukewarm, but now I'm eating it. I can still get a fair assessment of it.
I'm good with
All
it.
right, back to the topic.
We had like the half topic about like when you we someone you have to learn through life and like wisdom versus knowledge.
Shout out Tom Burger. Go ahead.
Shout out to Tom. So wisdom versus life, an idea of like going through certain experiences or seeing other people go through or whatever. And I actually heard somebody talking about recent, whereas like everybody has went. The statement was everybody has went through life when people older than you, parents or whatever, told you something at one point and you just didn't listen because it was just young people just don't listen. And then later on, you're like, damn, I should have listened or I get it now. So do you have something like a vivid experience, interaction, or memory of somebody telling you something that you didn't listen for a reason and then hit later on?
Yeah, I ended up having my license suspended for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tom Burger. Had my license suspended. They had nothing to do with my license being suspended.
Okay, cool. They redeemed now with the burger. They had something to do with it. Yeah.
But long story short, My mom,
10 years.
I got a ticket or whatever the case may be. It wasn't. They didn't do it. It was like I'm gonna tell you how it happened. I ended up having to go to jail for this shit and all that. So I had got a ticket because I was 16 with a car and I was driving downtown and I didn't understand the exits. So when I seen Ben Franklin Bridge and I was going toward, I was just trying to get downtown.
That happened to me before too.
Yeah, so I just went towards the bridge and I got scared. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, mind you, this is before GPS. I don't know if GPS was around.
I'm going to Jersey
on your
now.
phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was 16. This was 2009. I don't know if it was, I probably didn't have it on my phone. I had a flip phone.
iPhone just came out back then. It was new.
Yeah, so GPS wasn't on my phone. So I'm like, I'm about to be in Jersey, Ben Franklin. What the fuck? So instead of going over the bridge, I flipped the UE and went back towards traffic. But to my luck, no cars was actually right there. And I got off the ramp successfully and got onto another block. And a fucking undercover cop car, whoop, 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 pulled me over, whatever case may be. You know what I'm saying? They give me a ticket. The ticket was $116. At that time, that was a lot of money.
Of course.
So my mom tell me, because I used to be throwing parties, so I used to make money. Son,
just pay it.
Just don't get on no payment plan. Stop that $20 a month shit. Just get them the 116. I know you want to keep your little money, but just pay the shit. Nah, I got it. You tripping, da-da-da. Miss a month. Shit, suspended.
Damn.
I get whooped. Yeah.
The one joint?
Yeah, for sure. Philly don't play. I get whooped. Whoop, whoop. They pulled me over. Yo, your license suspended. Ain't no way. Yes, it is. It's suspended. Give me a driving without a license ticket. Smack a year on him. Fuck, I should be able to make it. Do it again. Catch me again. Never join in between time. In the meantime, in between, what actually really did it, I left a part out. My homie said, yo, bro, let me use your license number. We just got pulled and they trying to take the wheel. Trying to be a good friend, get a nigga my license number. He ain't tell me they got into a car accident. So I'm fighting. So that was why that's what the lapse in the payment plus that situation had my license minute. So when I went to court, the cop came in and was like, that ain't the guy. So they throw that out, but I still had the lapse. So I got caught driving, smack a year on there. Got caught driving, smack a year on there. Got caught driving, smack. By the time they smacked 6 years on there, they like, lock this nigga the fuck up. He don't get it. Lock me up. I had to do weekends. 45 days worth of weekends. So that shit ranged out to be like fucking 6 months of me getting in and out of jail, going through processing, in and out every fucking week. And I didn't get my license back until 2020. And this shit happened in like 09. So that was one of the things where if I would have just paid the fucking ticket like my mom told me to, I would have never had to do a 10-year license to the point where I used to pay homies to drive. I'm my heart, my shoe. Niggas, you know, first of all, if you driving, the paperwork ain't right, you got anything else in the car, that shit is nerve-wracking. When I got my license, it took me about 6 months to be comfortable with cop driving behind me because I was so accustomed to heart being in my shoe because I'm driving unregistered or with no license or, you know, we just driving dirty essentially.
One time, I only had one time, I'm gonna tell my part of but one time I only had a situation where I was driving dirty per se, whatever, because I didn't know that you can't not have a car without paying insurance on it. So I think I canceled my insurance. Yes, what it is. When you cancel your insurance, it's some shit with the insurance registry. I forgot what it was. Anyway, by the time I was about to, I didn't feel like driving my car no more. I ain't driving. I'm just take the train to work. Ain't no fucking big deal, whatever. By the time I was about to start driving again, I had like a fucking $800 penalty tickets to pay because the registration lapsed. You can't own a car on insurance, some shit like that, whatever. I was like, I ain't paying this shit. Like, so I was driving about a few months. Fortunately, nothing happened. Whatever. Eventually, the waves or whatever. So, but my story is, so to the point of my drive, I remember when I first got my car, my mom was like, whatever you do, don't have this car full of niggas. Because if something happened, niggas gonna sue you or this and that, da-da-da. If I catch niggas in this car, if bitches in this car, if it's a bunch of people in this car, the car's gone because you don't fucking listen. And because before I even said this topic, I was thinking like, I don't think I got so many memories where I just like drastically didn't listen. Like, I was like, no, for the most part, I either just didn't like.
I didn't do what you told me to do.
Yeah, but I didn't like consciously, like you said, like you kind of consciously told you, like listen to your mind, like, nah, I'm good, I figured it out, whatever. Yeah, but in this joint, I really was like, ain't that deep. Literally, probably like the third time I ever drove my car, we was going to play football or basketball, shit like that. It was like, you know, we packed up in the car, like 5 niggas to go hoop, whatever, try to make a U-turn somewhere. Somebody hit me. And then cops came. It was like a whole thing. Fortunately, nobody sued me as she assumed. Like, can't trust nobody. Niggas gonna sue you and they hold this and that. Fortunately, that didn't happen, but it did. It rung in my head like, damn, that could have been a situation where somebody could have got hurt and then you never know, whatever. But overall, I think it's interesting. People just say you have to learn through experiences and wisdom and certain things. young people are just like conditioned to not listen.
Yeah.
Like you have to go through it for it to truly
Because
process.
it goes back to what I was saying last episode. It's the what versus the why. Knowledge tells you what, experiences tell you why. And that's where wisdom comes from. Wisdom comes from understanding why some shit took place. So if your parents telling you what you shouldn't do, but you don't understand why they telling you, you can easily just disregard it, because if it don't align with your logic or your level of understanding, you feel like what they saying is bullshit. But once you go through it, it connects the dots, and you're like, you know what? Damn, she was right or he was right all along, because the why now makes sense. And now, like, it makes you start to ask yourself, damn, but should you tell somebody why you telling them not to do it? But the crazy part is they still gonna disregard it, because at that point the why don't connect, because they don't have evidence to support the why. So it's like, I don't even know why you telling me this shit for you to be telling me why you telling me. So it's like, you gotta learn on your own. You know what I mean? It's like the only thing you could do is plant the seed. Like I say all the time, the shit that I say to my kids, to people I know, to my friends, it's not gonna resonate with you today, but it's not supposed to. It's for you to draw back and make the connection and be like, damn, he been said that shit. You know what I mean?
And build off. Question though, at least I can speak of my experiences. I feel like oftentimes parents don't instruct or teach or express with why in mind.
100%.
So do you think, could that kind of cut the difference, at least in some regard, where someone just tell, all right,
Yeah.
I know you probably not gonna listen, but I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you what I went through, versus saying, just don't do it.
Yeah. I just think it adds more insight. And insight gives people a little bit of a perspective of why you're saying it.
Right.
You know, and whether or not they care or not, it's like now you can't say that I didn't tell you all of the, like, you, like, instead of telling somebody, yeah, go get a car, you tell them what comes with having a car.
Right.
Look, man, you can get you a car, but you make sure you got to keep your car maintenance, keep it clean, keep gas in it, and you got to pay your insurance. And you got to make sure that you paying your traffic tickets if you get them, and you got to make sure that you doing routine checkup. Like, that's the part versus just saying don't get a car.
Right.
You're not ready for a car.
Right.
You know, because now it's like, I want to drive. You telling me to just sit around? I'm not trying to hear that. So I think adding the context gives somebody a more opportunity to make an informed decision. But not being able to do that is like, no, like I don't. If you're not giving me that extra insight, you're not giving me that shit, it's like I'm gonna go off what I think is right. And that's where that whole, you know, that what versus why comes into play.
Yeah, I can say, I just thought another thing. One thing my mom definitely told me about that I can give her credit for when it all played out was to not be in a relationship in college. That was definitely, I ain't gonna say regret. We spoke on it last time. I don't really believe in regrets, but I was like,
I should have.
she was right for sure.
It's like, I got a lot. Like, it's like, so for me, because I do try my best to learn from the mistakes. I try my best to look at it, because it's like, that's evidence to me. It's like, I don't need to see if the stove is hot myself. If I see,
yeah,
whatever that shit is, I don't know what, I don't need to feel what hot is. Some people want to feel what hot is. It's like, you said it's hot, I believe you. Now, granted, can you miss out on certain things? That's why discernment is key. But the fact of the matter is, you can also miss out on things that could be detrimental just by having that.
Yeah, and I want to say as well, how about, I feel we touched on this before, but I feel possibly we can go deeper into the topic of the idea, speaking about that not regret, but that lesson of having a relationship in college, the idea of being cheated on. What is something that you feel that you learned from that possibly you pass that down on to your kids, whatever, the pain of it, the lesson and the wisdom of it. Yeah, so speak on that. The idea, you know, when we took an L of being cheated on.
It's almost inevitable. So it's like, instead of, like, first of all, don't get ahead of yourself within your ego, and don't make their actions about you. Like, that's one thing. If I could pass, after being cheated on, if I can pass anything down to a young boy, you know, even a young woman, a person, any person that hasn't experienced that,
can go through
I would just say, don't make their actions about you. Don't try to internalize and be like, if I was doing more of this, or if I wouldn't have did that, or if I wouldn't have said this, then they wouldn't have did. No, people are who they are and they do what they want. And although actions can be influenced, they're not attached. So like, me punching you can influence you to hit me back, but that does not justify you punching me.
Right.
These are separate acts. We both punch each other. And I think when people think, oh, well, you cheated, so I cheated back. And I'm saying generally speaking, oh, this person was cheated on, so they cheated back as a lick back. No, this person cheated and this person cheated. You can only cheat two. You can't cheat back. No back to this. It's two. Y'all both cheated as individuals. So I would just say, you know, don't take it and internalize it, and understand that it's inevitable. And when I say it, that don't mean everybody's going to cheat the moment you meet them. It just means that it's a possibility. It's a higher possibility of it happening than there is a lot of things in life. And if, you know, you go into a situation feeling like, oh, that's the, like, it could be, you got to know what you're going to do after it happened. For me, that'd be my end all be all. So I don't got too much negotiation. It's like, you did what you did. You got to stand on it. I'm not going to be like, oh, I did this. I should have said. I'm not internalizing it. I'm making it like, you know. So, you know, for anybody that's, whether, like I said, a young person, somebody that's just out there, I literally would just say, don't try to see what you could have did differently to prevent it, because people do what they want to do. And you got to just learn how to accept and adjust how you going to move forward type shit.
You ready to give out some game real quick? Let's see if you.
waiting for you to give me perspective.
No,
on
I'm
that.
gonna bring it back to my answer.
All right, go.
So when I got cheated on, right? This is what she said back then. She was like, "So we was studying. It was college. We was studying, and one thing led to another, and he was kissing, and then we started having sex. But I stopped him, and then I just ran out. I was crying, this and that, whatever. So regardless, it was the betrayal, whatever, this and that. We was done after that. But years later, I would say I believed it. I'm like, all right, cool. You still a whore. It's fine, whatever. Like, you know, whatever. I brought talking to my man about later on. And he was like, he told me, I said the story just in past. He was like, you know, she was lying, right? Like, it's like she didn't stop them. They kept going. They fucked to the end. And she probably put
it back in.
Oh, she put it back in. You can't tell me that at 19. So
She put it back in.
I asked you, did she put it back in or do you believe that original story? And somebody tell you that.
Like it started and it stopped?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't believe that. I feel like they are designed to tell you whatever they feel would not change your perspective of them. So whatever she felt like was going to protect her in that situation was what you were getting told. She absolutely put it back in. He hit from the back. She rode him. she rode him. But another thing that I want to add to the... That's like, bow, bow, bow.
Knock the books off the bed. And there was no books. They were never studying.
Yeah,
Like, she was put there for dick. No,
He was studying her.
Fair. I respect it. The game.
But all in all, I feel like, you know, and another like thing of just like under like for me, the way I was able to overcome it, you know, my first relationship when it happened, it was looking at it like I didn't make it personal. I said, what if they really liked each other and I was just the man in the middle? So removing myself, it was no more problem. Like my ego was bruised. You know what I'm saying? And that happens, but it's like that's only if I continue to attach myself to you. But the moment I detach myself from you, it don't even matter. You're just another woman. And I feel like I seen a quote just recently that said, a woman was like, I cheated or whatever. And how you feel about that? He was like, the king is not moved because a pawn takes the queen. And I was like,
it's a bar.
that's a bar. The king ain't moved because a pawn take the queen. So it's like, that shit is just in perspective, like, because that was one of the things the metaphor that I actually used. I was like, you know, my board you was a queen, you let this motherfucker use you as a pawn, and that showed me everything I needed to see. And just not taking things personal. It's like, me saying don't take it personal don't mean it ain't gonna hurt.
Right.
I mean, you're not gonna feel. Don't mean it's not gonna traumatize you. It's just saying that when it's all said and done, don't make it something where you internalize it and make it worse than what it is, or give it more power than it actually should have, type shit.
And you know what's funny? I remember my roommate was my friend at the time. He didn't know even what happened till like months later or whatever.
Who was it with?
The girl?
No, who she do it with?
Some nigga.
We had different schools.
Yeah, different
I
schools.
would have told you if you asked me for game back then, you should never have a girl in college that's not at your school.
Absolutely.
Because everybody in college know that every girl in college has a college boyfriend.
Absolutely, for sure. That's why I said when if I was gonna have a son, like, I couldn't wait to say that lesson. Like, but I was but one thing to your point about not taking it personal, yeah, I understood that right away. Right when I got, and that's also why I know that I, like you said, cheating is my deal breaker. Because I understood that I can't get past this, regardless of you being the biggest whore or not. That's a moot point, whatever. I just know I can't ever trust you the same. So why am I gonna drive myself crazy? Even trying to wrap my mind around this. So it's cool. We done now. It's no big deal, whatever. So the pain or the hurt, whatever, it's like I just know we can't go past. Cool, but after I got past that, I also had pride in myself and confidence and love myself, where it's like, bitch, I ain't about to be a depressed ass.
Yeah, no.
Like, it ain't never been at the brain. Yeah, like, so it's like, where I was at the same time with other people, you know, it's college. Everybody going through some type of shit, whatever. So other people around me, I was going through shit, and they was, like, it was hurt. It was hitting hard. Like, and I was just like, and when he found my man's, because he was kind of helping other shit like that, when he's like, yo, I didn't even know. And I was like, nigga, I can't let somebody else bring me down like that. Of course, it's gonna be a healing time processing, but I'm never going to be a down and out nigga over somebody else. Like I said, I can't take it that personal. You don't define me. This moment don't define me. Whatever. It is then.
And this person don't got one up on me. Like I often say, like, you can't get one up on me by fucking my chick. But people would think otherwise. But the way I look at it, like, nah, because the moment that transpires, she's no longer mine.
Literally.
So it's like I think my thing is, if it's happening and I don't know about it, and it's like I'm oblivious to it, but then I'm not, what I don't know can't affect me. So it's like the moment I become aware, I become conscious to it, I'm gonna remove her so fast that whatever association you had of her to me don't exist no more. So that's just what she can only give you one up on herself, and she can only remove herself out of my life. It's no attachment to me. It's like I don't own this person. I don't own this pussy. I would never be affected by something that I am not in control of. I'm not in control of what another human being does. So even though we dealing and we make an agreement, you make business agreements all the time. That don't mean people hold up the end of the bargain. If she decides to let somebody infiltrate and penetrate, then that's where we disintegrate. And it's like, I'm not about to sit here and let you
That boy good.
make me be something different than who I am or feel less of a man because of what you did that was out of my control. All I'm going to do is do what's in my control and disconnect and remove. And, you know, I always say that because so many people be like, no, I can't take that. Because y'all are internalizing these relationships to where they become a part of your identity. This relationship is not a part of my identity. It's a part of my life. And it's like life changes all the time.
Absolutely.
And the moment you make a life-changing decision, your life will change too because I'm not going to be in it no more.
Yeah, life be life.
Life be life. You feel me? And I be moving on. Fuck that.
But you said something I thought was interesting. I've had this conversation years ago when you said you could be in the way of somebody. Of course, we talking about in the context of cheating, whatever. But how do you feel about that? Of course, you know, we all getting older. We got friends and exes and personal situationships, whatever. Is there ever a situation where it's like you got an ex or a past person or whatever where you can be like, you can rationalize a friend taking them seriously if it's like real love?
You know what's funny? I do that after every relationship because I feel like everybody knows their person, and you know, like even if there could be somebody far or near that might be better for them, and you got like if you don't have that thought, that's cool, but having that thought is like it's like reality. It's like damn, like we ain't work, but like they actually got a lot in common.
Right.
Like you don't never want to see that because you never want to experience. You never want your people around you to look at your person in that way.
Right.
And I can't say that I would be okay with it. I often ask myself if that was to happen, how would I react? Because I don't know if I would detach from both of them or if I would give my blessing. I don't have that answer, but I will say that I had that thought of like, yeah, like because there's some girl that is like 5 years ago, like 6 years ago, it's like I don't know if any of my girlfriends can date one of my closest homies. I don't know if I can because it's like I think I can't do nothing if it happened, but I don't know what it would do to me internally, especially considering what happened. You know what I mean? But I can't say that thought won't present itself where you like, yeah, a couple years from now, like I don't know how would I feel, but it is women that I've dealt with. I'm like, we just wasn't meant. Y'all are meant. Do your thing. Like I give my full blessing, but you know, it's just about having that mature conversation with yourself and. Like we always talk about possibilities versus probabilities. Anything is possible. Now, the likeliness and the probability should be slim to none, but thinking about the possibility, I just feel like it gives you that insight on if you really care about somebody. Because if you can't say you want the best for somebody if their best has to include you.
I never want the best for somebody.
Yeah, and I can respect it. But you can't say you want the best for somebody if their best has to include you. So I truly am a believer of that. And it's like, I'm like, no, if I wish you the best, that mean like it don't got to include me. Whatever your best is, that's the best that I want for you. I don't have to be a part of that.
Yeah.
She was like, fuck that.
Yeah, I don't want the best for people. Like I ain't gonna say I want the worst for you, but I can't say I want the best for you. You can just be all right.
You wanna know why I can laugh at it, but I'm gonna tell you why I can't like
condone it or
I can't say
agree.
I ain't gonna say disagree. It's like I don't live by that because I truly believe in the law of attraction, and I really believe that what you want for others is what you call to yourself. So I want the best for you, not even just for you, but because I want the best for me. And I want you to want the best for you so you can want the best for me. But if you don't want the best for you, you can't want the best for me. And if you don't want the best for me, you're not going to attract what's best for you because you focus on the wrong shit.
True.
So it's like, once I let you go, you're free. Like, I'm not the guy that's going to double back. I never double back. I might double down. I might double up. But I'm never going double back. It's not a woman out here that could be like, yeah, he's tried to blow my phone up and he spent the block and he found out I was with a new nigga and he was stalking me. Absolutely not. We can put this on a record because none of y'all can ever say that.
Release the files.
Do your due diligence. I am not the double backer. It's like, I ain't saying I ain't never double back and hit, but I'm never doubling back and we back together type shit.
Context.
Like, yeah, gotta add context. You know what I mean? No, it's for real. Because even with that, that's less slim than none. I've had, like, my last couple exes, I have not touched. You know what I'm saying? I can only say I double back in my first relationship. And my second relationship was like kind of like a double back, but it wasn't really like I don't know. It was just like we was in a rocky space. We did it, then it just disappeared.
Yeah. So into the original point, yeah. So I've thought about that as well. Like, you know, I remember when I first had the conversation, I vividly remember it back when we was early 20s, whatever. And I was like, fuck no. Like, I don't be claiming that many girls. It's just some girls, nigga. It's just off limits. That's the least we can do. You, my friend, this is off limits, whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I remember my friends at the time say, like, I'd be like, yo, like, if it's years later, like, it's real love there. You really about to step in front of love when you pass the person?
Yeah, you pass the person.
And I was still just like, yeah, because if you got love for me as a friend and respect for me, what's the, like, just do something else, whatever. Yeah. But now that it's years, like, decades later, I just can't really imagine me just, not saying I can't imagine it, but I just find that possibility more possible now where it's like, what are we talking about? And I've seen my mom, who's crazy and extreme, where like it could be someone she didn't even date or nothing. It's like someone that had a crush on her decades ago. And I remember, like one time she said her friend was like, "Oh yeah, Lena, such and such was trying to talk to me," and she was like, "Keith from second grade?" I'm like, bitch, delete his number, block him. I'm like, Mom, you didn't even talk. You didn't even like niggas. It don't matter. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so I be trying to like, knock off the Lena tendency from sometimes, like just the craziness. So I be reflecting on that sometimes.
No, it's funny that you say that because it is a double part that I feel like I didn't harp on. So it is certain women that is just off limits, but I feel like the limits do move depending on how far past you get with them. It's like, because you can have a woman that's off limits that you never even got the distance with, but because you still intend to, you don't want nobody to affect that and fall in love with that person. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, all in all, you want it to be where it's like, I know I'm over this person, so I'm not bothered by it. I'm not holding on to this because I really do want to let you be and let you free. Whereas though, if you look at it from a perspective like, you are still interested, that's the only time you might be affected by it. And some shit might catch you off guard too. Like how? What I will say is that's more like the thought that I might have too. Like how? Like how did y'all even cross that threshold? Like where did the interest start? Like that's more of the question that might have a motherfucker feel. Once you get over that initial, because that's gonna happen whether you're over a person or not. You be like, wait, huh? How the fuck you fucking with my? I don't care if it was 10 years ago, but you was my dog. Like, but then once you get past that, you be like, man, I don't even give a fuck because I really don't give a fuck. And if you care, you just gotta be honest with yourself. Like, I ain't okay with it, but y'all gonna do what's best for y'all. And that's another stance I'll take on something because I don't have to like it for it to happen. So it's like, me saying don't do it don't mean it won't do it.
In that sense?
But I respect who?
Like respect it. Like I don't gotta like it, but I can respect it.
No, you don't have to like it or respect it.
Okay.
It just you gotta accept it. It is what it is. It's like, cause somebody could do some shit you don't respect or accept. You're like, damn, you gonna fuck with my folks. Like, damn, you gonna do that? But it's like, you know what? It is what it is. I don't gotta like it or respect it, but I'm gonna accept it for what it is. And I think that's the most important part of it.
Slightly pivoting. What's one of, speaking like letting go and shit like that? What's some of the pettiest reasons or that you've moved on for someone or didn't elevate somebody, stayed in a certain space? You got any situation like that where it's like, oh yeah, I can see from step one, it ain't but to go here because of X?
Yeah, I do that every day. Every time I ain't gonna say petty, but it's just like, it could be for me, because like I'm Mr. Intentional. Like and I ain't gonna say intentions can't change because they can be modified, but it's like I can already foresee like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. Like I've got so good at it to where those certain chicks I won't even touch. Like, sometimes you gotta have sex with a girl and be like, yeah, nope, it's not gonna work. For me, I got so good at it to where though, you know what, I'm not even touching her because it's not gonna work. So I never really had nothing petty where it was like, oh, I don't like the way she burp, I'm cutting her off. I'm not saying that can't happen. I'm just saying I can't identify a situation where I was like, I don't like the way you walk, I'm cutting you off. It was just more so like, it's a mindset thing. I don't like the way you think. Well, like, I don't care how you look. If I don't like the way you think, it's not gonna work. So when I get into a certain conversation with you and we kind of going over certain topics, and I'm like, another thing I tell you, I don't talk to women that's associated to certain men or certain types of men, because it ain't like men. It's like, if your most recent boyfriend is a street nigga, I won't date you. Not because I care, I don't worry, but because it let me know where you play at. And you haven't grew. You can't like me and him. There's no way that nobody's that versatile to be able to like this type of mindset. And I'm from the streets first, right? And I know how I thought, how we acted. And it don't mean that street niggas ain't smart or not. It's just saying, like, I understood the lifestyle choices that you make on a day-to-day. It's like, even on the collateral damage that come behind that, you don't have foresight because you don't even understand. You will have a baby with this person and you don't understand the risk factor. And again, I'm not downplaying it because, like, I got people and I'm from that, but at the same time, I'm not gonna act like I'm not here. So it's like, I can fuck with you, but I'm not fucking with you like that. But I'm not even fucking with you if you got certain type of that, like certain type of family member that's on certain shit. Why? Because this is your community. This is your village. These are the people that you gonna go to for advice. So it's like, all of that shit, you gotta really think about all of that shit. Is like, y'all motherfuckers that get with a woman and see her but don't see what she come with. And it's like, for me, I have the ability to bypass who I'm looking at and I look at the surrounding facts. So it's like, that's one of the things if you got used to abuse and that's like your love language, I'm not dating you. Because I'm not an abusive guy. So it's like, I'm not about to deal with you if the things that you have experienced are below what I bring. And that's how I look at it. It's like, I understand the standard in which I'm coming. That don't mean, oh, well, can you groom her? You can teach her. She has to get to a certain tier of detachment. You know what I mean? It's like if you date a woman, you like when, like you don't ask her when the last time she had sex, but you want to hope that it wasn't yesterday before you start taking it serious. You wanted to be that gap for the hole to close for you to then start to, you know, feel like, all right, we embarking on this journey. It's like been that gap. You don't never want to be, I just got a relationship last week and then she in a relationship with you.
Right.
So I look at it like all types of relationships. What type of baby dad do you got? What type of ex-boyfriends do you have? What type of dad do you have? What type of brother do you have? What type of cousin? The men in your life matter to me because they're your village, they're your tribe, and that's your example of manhood. So when I come around and I'm acting a certain way, I'm a motherfucking anomaly to you because you never saw it before. So that's probably the thing that I would X somebody out for. Like I don't deal with women that like, because another thing I'm gonna say, last thing about that, when you like the fast life, that means you expect fast results, and that means you're gonna rush me.
Right.
I'm not dealing with you if my process is slower than what you're accustomed to. This don't mean I don't make a lot of money. It just, when you make money frivolously, you're more inclined to spend it frivolously. When you make
it.
and when you make money and you put the work in, even if it's $1 million or $100,000 or $1,000, when you make it a certain way, you respect it differently. So you won't understand a motherfucker saying, "No, I'm investing in this instead of investing in that." I'm not investing in that bag, but I'll invest in this. I'm not investing in that, but I'll invest in this. But when you got motherfuckers that just get money like this, fast, and they spend it fast because they know it's coming back fast. Even if it's not that much money, it could be $100, $20, $300, but they spend it fast because it's coming perceptionally fast. You gonna expect that, and it's like, no, we got two different mindsets on how we see things. So I'm not the guy for you. I'm not your target audience.
But for sure, and to piggyback off that even further, like you talking about the tribe and the men around the dads.
Yeah.
If they got a bum ass mom, you probably gonna have a bum ass bitch you fucking with, whatever. And I've seen a lot of my friends who get in situations where you dating a girl that brings them value, not your equal counterparts, a drain on your life, and then you see their mom and it's like, she ain't work her daughter whole life.
Yeah.
What you think her daughter gonna be like 9 times out of 10, whatever? And I see a lot of my friends who got baby moms now that don't do shit. Yeah. And when you first met her mom was not doing shit. Right. So it's like,
well, that's her example.
That's where she come from.
Yeah,
my uncle, baby mom, don't do shit. Grandma, like, so
you got the anomalies, whereas though they the opposite because of that. Like, oh, you ain't do shit, so I want to make sure, man. I seen my mom not do nothing, so I want to do that. So you know, but at the same time, like, your expectations are garnered from what you experience and what you were exposed to. So that's what you expect from life. And if you seen people not do shit and that's what you're exposed to, then you expect this type of treatment or this type of situation to mimic what you are comfortable and familiar with.
Because there's
nothing wrong with it to you until you get introduced to something new. But I feel like as men, we got to understand, man, as a protector, it's not just physical, right? And we talk about that all the time. But even when you think about protecting women, like, and protecting them from themselves, right? One thing that, like, I always tell men, like, even when it comes down to fucking raw, right? A nigga think like, oh, I fuck her raw because she let me fuck her raw. She is not a protection-minded person. So when I say that, not to say, oh, women don't want to protect themselves and wear condoms, because some of them are conscious and like, nah, nigga, you probably fucking this, that, and the third. You're not about to just put that in. But the fact of the matter is, they go off how they feel. So if sex feels better without a condom, she's more inclined to say, I don't like condoms. You as a man got to be able to foresee the fact that it might be a baby that come up out of this, or it could be worse, a ST fucking D. And it's like, if you're not thinking like that going into it and you going off, oh, well, she got checked and said she was cool, you allowing her to be the protector in the situation. So you can't even be mad if it don't go how you think. Nigga to get a chick pregnant and be like, no, well, she told me she was on birth control. She told you what she wanted to say to get what she wanted. You got to be the protector that thing for both of y'all and say, yo, you know what? I'm not even giving you this sense of power over my body. And when I say that, I'm talking about like what happens next. Like, I don't want to be in the doctor's because of you. And I don't want to be at a motherfucking doctor's appointment for ultrasound because of you. So I'm going to say, all right, cool. How can I protect myself in a situation? And even if a chick be like, oh, I don't do that. I don't want, all right, well, I got to protect both of us at this point. Because if you don't do it with me, that means you don't do it with somebody else.
And we're not doing it.
Simply said, but so many people not thinking from that protection-minded standpoint because they look at a protection of just being able to say, oh, I can physically make sure nothing happens to you. No, nigga, you got to be able to protect her from her immature decisions or her impulsive decisions, which can affect you in the long run.
And it's funny you say so. Well, you know, I say about my mom all the time, like, she always said, don't trust these bitches, and you need to protect yourself from them or whoever, because it's your dick, it's going to be your baby that come out of her and all that shit, whatever. So fuck what she talking about, the pill, and nigga, protect yourself, whatever. So you always told me that. Of course, niggas don't always listen. But you know, back to wisdom. But it's funny. Me and my man had a debate about that one time where he was talking about men need to be better in society and our culture, or whatever, and men need to be more responsible for these broken homes and babies and shit like that, whatever. And I was saying, like, I agree with that, of course. And he was trying to say we need to wear more of the burden of this, which I understood. He was saying, yeah, because we initiated, we the one that didn't put the condom on us, XYZ, whatever. And I was like, well, I think it's a it's not a real equation, but the idea of like we both adults is a 50-50 equation here. In the day, are you saying they don't think from that lens?
Exactly.
But in the day, we both adults consenting to this moment. So I'm thinking about if I'm a woman.
You can't think like that.
I know. I'm just saying. I just feel both people are responsible in that moment. That's how I look at it.
No, bro, it's not. This thing is not about who that. Yo. It's not about consenting.
Mm-hmm.
It's about where their thoughts come from. And our thoughts come from different places. So you thinking of it, yeah, she can consent to doing it, but her thoughts are not derived in protection. They're derived in feelings. So the consent is to how it's going to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts have to derive from what happens next because you have the ability to foresee. So she can agree to it all day and tomorrow, which is why they can change their mind and they be like, oh, wait, you said yesterday that now all of a sudden you saying you ain't want to do. Yeah, because she went off how she felt in the moment. For you got to be able to foresee that beyond her consent, because you are the one who's going to be held accountable when it comes time, like whether it's through child support or whether you talking to your doctor about how you ended up in this predicament. So it's like, I get it. They can say yes, and that it's enough to have y'all had sex, but you got to go through a whole different process as to what that looks like. You got to set the tone. It's like, even I'll use an example. I always say a woman I'll choose where the house is. You can do whatever you want to the house once we get there. Why? Because my thoughts are derived off safety. Yours are derived off aesthetics. So I'm not letting you choose a house that look good but is in Kensington because of the aesthetic. I'm going to choose the area first, and once I come up with the area, I don't care what you do once we get out there. You can make it look however you want it to look because I know that what this does for you.
And make sure that the location and it's a foundationally good structure.
Yeah,
like all that shit about security, protection.
Because like I need to make sure that the school's district is a certain way. I need to make sure that the neighbors are a certain way because I understand that it's my job to protect us. As far as in how it look, again, that's just, so you gotta understand that we coming from a different level in a different perspective. It's not just about, oh yeah, I agree to doing this. It's about understanding what also comes with this, the other shoe.
For sure. And I get it, just to continue on the conversation real quick though, but yeah, I agree with everything you said. I understand everything you said. In the same way, we gotta be held responsible and accountable or whatever. What I don't get from women is that they the ones who are gonna have to carry the baby, the ones that have to go through all this emotional change and physical change, this and that. So for you to not protect yourself in that moment and then have to deal, because again, even though men are held accountable, responsible, in the day, women are the ones that end up having a baby and probably got to deal with it, end up breaking up, whatever. So if you don't want that, you
want to know why they created postpartum? That's women's accountability.
They created it.
I mean, let's say when people start identifying with it.
Fair.
Do you want to know why it's identified with now more than ever? Because that is women now looking back on the decision they made and having to deal with it and realizing they can't get out of it, and it's depressing. We go through that shit on a day-to-day, not postpartum, but I don't want it because we go through post-decision making stress too.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? No, I'm gonna break it down to you, and I really want you to understand what I mean by that. And the fact of the matter is, the only responsibility that can't be put solely on a man from a woman is having a child. That's the only thing that they are truly held accountable for, because it's not even about if we hold them accountable. They feel attached to their baby because they carried it for 9 months. God made it that way. We didn't have no arm in that. We didn't have no hand in that, no leg in that. We just are the providers and the protectors who are responsible for creating that balance. But when it's all said and done, they jump into that survival mode, protect my cub, protect my offspring, because it's something that they truly feel like is theirs. So anything else, whether there's a bill, all of these things could be dropped on a man. A kid can be dropped on a man, but it's less likely. More women to feel guilty in doing it, which is why they feel guilty about getting rid of them or putting them up for adoption, whatever it may be, because they understand that they're giving up a part of themselves. So when you say, Daryl, why don't they think? Because again, going into it, imagine if you could do whatever you want in the world, and I'm not saying they could do whatever you want, but just in theory, you could do whatever you want in the world, and there's a law that protects you, it's going to be a person that protects you, and then there's going to be a community of other people that agree with what you do, know damn well you're wrong. And then you got this thing that you can't figure out, and you can't get rid of it. That would make you depressed. That would affect your life. That would affect your way of thinking. And it's like, you don't realize that until after it's done. So you telling them to have foresight. They don't have foresight. Until it happens once, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm not having no more kids. Because they ran into it and it was like, oh shit, we have the ability to do, we can say this child is going to cause this child is going to create that, this is going to happen from it. It's not to say that some of them can't think out. But the fact of the matter is, how they feel is going to override how they think. The fact of the matter is, how we think is going to override how we feel. So the accountability looks different. You're going to be held accountable because you thought it out. she's going to be held
Made the
accountable.
wrong decision.
You mean you still made the wrong decision? She's going to be held accountable because she can't take the decision back. You can walk away and be a deadbeat. She can't do that, and that's the one true element where I feel like women are being held accountable, and that's where I feel like the depression is at an all-time high because they wanted to be like how they used to. You take the baby for 50% of the time. You change 50% of the pampers. It's like no. Like, I'm going to do that, but I'm a dad. I'm going to go get the money, and you're going to do it. And I'm going to help when I can, but I'm going to do my role. This is your role. You was meant to bear a child. If God wanted me to carry, he knew that baby would have been at a dice game. Like, it wasn't for us to be that. He knew we'd be getting in fights, all types of shit. It's your job. And another thing that I was going to say, damn, go ahead, because I had something I was going to say, but it'll come back to me.
All right, I'm gonna slight pivot in regards to kids though. The idea of since we both are parents, an idea of like the different chapters and transitions we went through in regards to raising our kids. I know you went through a different, went through a travel change, whatever, a location change, and you had to also use foresight to think about how that would, affect your
Which
kids.
I didn't do the first time.
Cool. Right. Okay, cool. And so to talk about how you plan, so just touch on that. The idea of how it was the first time, now.
The first time I didn't position myself to be able to still take care of my kids the way they needed to be taken care of. I just got up and went. This time I didn't leave until I put those pillars in place. I communicated. I figured out what will work for them, what will work for their moms, what will work for me. And I also make more money now, so I'm able to help out in ways that I couldn't last time, which all came from making my decision easier to be in two different places. Like, all right, I'm here and I'm there. But at one point I was doing that, and it was like I still needed resources to help me when I was away. Now I could still do what I need to do like I'm here, even when I'm not in the city. So that right there just came from, wisdom and experiences. I would say from fucking up the first time. It failed because I didn't position myself or use foresight to say this is going to affect my kids in these ways. It was now I understand, like, all right, this school has to be moved here because it's closer to you, so this can happen, and this has to be done, or I got to pay this, or I got to make sure my family members is willing to do this before I just get up and go type shit.
Was there any type of reservations with that, even though you went through it the first time?
I didn't give a fuck. There's no reservations. I was going.
Because about the space you're in, we're trying to be in alignment with your pursuits?
Yeah, it just, I know that it's for the bigger picture, and I know that it's for the better, and I can't explain that. I'll show it. And I look at it like every time I try to compromise the vision, I'm left explaining the gaps. I don't got to explain it. It's just showing, like, it's more money being made. It's more money being given. It's like intentional time being spent. So it's like the evidence is being presented through my actions versus me trying to explain why it's, I'm trying to do something or why I'm not trying to do something. And I had to tell myself, people are always going to do what's best for them. And that don't mean that you be a fucked up person when you do what's best for you. It just mean that you take into account what you want to do, as long as it's not at the expense of somebody else. So as my kids affected? No, because they said they're not. But at the end of the day, even if it was a slight uncomfortable thing, I still feel like what my intentions are is for the better. And I can live with that, knowing that it's a bigger picture associated with it.
Okay, fair. And I feel that also ties to my other point I'm going to say about the idea of, like, I feel that might be attached to the idea of, like, letting dreams die.
Yeah.
And as a person, we both went through different things and tried different things and attempted many passions and pursuits. How has that been along your path in life and experiences of, like, continuing to not let a dream die or multiple dreams or whatever it is? What does that mean to you?
It's just a pivot. Like, it's like the dream is about understanding that when you on your path in your car, and there's a little construction work, and you got to bring a left when you thought you was going to be on that block for 2.3 more miles, what does the GPS do? It reroute. So life going to reroute sometimes, but you're still trying to get where you're trying to go.
The goal is still the goal.
You know what I mean? So people, when life reroute them, they get distracted by the store that they see when they make that left. Oh, shit, I'm going to just stop here because it's closer. Fuck it. Me, I ain't want to go to this store. God didn't send me here to stop at this store because it was convenient. This store was put here as a test. And I'm going to ride past it because the goal is the goal, the destination, the dream is the dream. And the only way to accomplish it is to see it all the way through. You can't get in your car, start driving, and say you got to get there in 50 minutes, but you get a roadblock and it say it's going to take you 54, and then you bang a left and you see something that cuts your travel time by 30 minutes, but it's not what you wanted, and then you can't figure out why you're not happy. You can't figure out why you're not satisfied because you stopped 30 minutes before the journey was over because you thought you got what you wanted because it was presented faster. I'm more than willing to work towards what I want while being patient during the process. See, because patience isn't waiting. Patience is waiting while working. It's like, I'm going to understand that it might not happen tonight, it might not happen overnight, but it could happen one of these nights. And as long as I keep making my way in that direction, that day will come, that night will come.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that I don't know if that's like a thing you have to learn over time, or it can be a developed skill, but the idea of having that patience and being able to distinguish it by saying like, no, something is developing, something is unfolding. I am aligned with the path. I don't need to reroute, jump off, get out the car. Fuck, I'm just going to ride a bike. It's like, no, you're going at the certain pace. And I guess also I feel in this time and age when you see so many things that are distractions, whether social media or people, you can just kind of be discouraged, thrown off your path.
Or just want to move faster.
Or want to move faster and fuck up your pace.
But to your point, you use a key word. You said it's developing. That's the determining factor. That's where the discernment kicks in. Are we developing, right? So if you stand to the same analogy of being in your car, if you on I-95 and it's at a complete standstill, you're going to wish you was anywhere but there. But if you driving and you've been, just say you got 12 hours to go, but you look up 11 hours and 50 minutes, you look up 10 hours and 30 minutes, you look up 9 hours, you can be patient because you see the progress. If it's no progress, there's no patience. So that's the difference. Like if you're just sitting there and nothing is happening, and that don't mean that something's gonna happen immediately, but you have to this is why having intermediate milestones as you make progress is important. This is why celebrating milestones and relationships, anniversaries and this and that and first dates and this, these are milestones. Our first date, our 5th date, our 10th date. But on these milestones, by the 10th date, you know this person way more than you did on the first date. You know, y'all intimate now. Y'all doing more stuff. Then as we 3 months in, we 6 months in, we 9 months in, you learn so much more about people as the time go on. You making that progress versus just like, I had your number for 9 months, so we never even seen each other. We never even talked on the phone. We text here and there once a month. It's easier to say F that.
Yeah, no development at all.
It's no development at all. So that development is what is the difference. That's the skill that you have to learn. Patience by understanding that you're developing and not wanting it to happen no faster. Like, people don't understand, man. Good things really do take time. It takes 9 months to have a baby for a reason. Like, you don't want a baby at 1 month. You don't want a baby at 3 months because that's probably not even possible, right? And once you get to 6 months, you're like, because most of the people just pray for healthy. I want to make sure to carry full term healthy. So why is that not the mindset? Matter of fact, no, why? That should be the mindset with everything. You want it to go to a full term. I'm not taking the turkey out the oven after 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Maybe the air fryer, but not the oven. No, I'll just decide though. I'm not taking the chicken out in 1 minute. Like certain things you're just not going to do because you know it's not healthy. So when you're trying to get where you're trying to go, thinking that it's supposed to happen faster is you basically saying, I want a premature situation. And if you don't want a premature baby,
take
a
your time,
turkey, or fucking nothing premature, then you're not gonna want your dreams to happen prematurely. One thing I will say that I'm grateful for is I'm happy I didn't get certain shit when I wanted it, cause I wasn't ready for it, bro. I'm happy that I didn't have this when I wanted it, cause I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for this. I was not ready for this. God didn't let the couch be the Wolf Has Spoken podcast and reach the success that the Wolf Has Spoken podcast is reaching, because I wasn't ready for that. If God was giving me what I asked for when I asked for it, I wouldn't be able to handle it. So when I'm not getting it on my time, I literally understand that I'm not ready for it. So it's like you're not about to go in the gym on your first day and pick up 300-pound weights. Like, let me just, no, you're going to work your way up. And that's just a metaphor on life. Be patient with the process while making progress. You still should go to the gym every day, but don't think you're going to walk in and do 50 reps of burpees off the rip. You got to do 1 rep of 10, then 10, then you get to 20, then you get to 40, then you get to 50. And by the time you get it, you're not winded. You know what I mean? Nigga run a mile, first time, winded.
I'm gonna give you credit on that.
You know what I mean?
You know why? I've never thought about that in regards to my path.
Yeah.
I've never thought about I wasn't, as a person who feels I'm, pretty level-headed and shit like that, whatever. I've never thought about, what you say?
He says you feel like you're perfect, but I wasn't going to smile him, but thank you, Ricky B.
Agree, thank you. Better word choice. But no, like the idea of just like when certain things happen at a certain time, I never look. I've made peace with it, saying, oh, it just didn't happen. It just wasn't meant at that time. Not that I wasn't ready for it at the time. And as you was talking, I really was thinking like, I think, of course, I still respect what you're saying. I believe it. I'm like, no, I think I would have been right. I've been good. But then I think about how certain things developed over time at certain check. I know, like, I wasn't. Yeah. I wouldn't able to get everything from it because I wasn't who I need to be at that time to get certain fruits from certain labor at the time.
You hear it all the time. That's why they say you don't get what you want, you get what you're ready for. I couldn't handle certain amounts of money at certain times. I would have did the wrong shit with it.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle a certain level of influence at a certain time. I would have did the wrong shit with it. Couldn't handle a certain size platform at a certain time because I would have did the wrong shit with it. Trust me. And now I know. So now I'm responsible enough to handle it, and God is never going to give you more than what you can handle. And that's just a fact.
And to kind of put a button on the idea of like milestone celebrations and checkpoints like that. That's one thing I appreciate about our relationship in regards in general, but also part of the show where we often have just like not even just form. All right, Q, let's do a check in, but no, just constant, just positive reinforcement and constant. Just like, no, let's just like yo, like last night, it started here, we here now, and as and this, and we getting this. It's like, no, those type of check-ins keep you aligned with what you're doing. You stay in real time of the development along the path, and you understand progress being made while still appreciating, while still staying motivated. So I feel it's all intentional efforts to stay focused on the goal, because the goal still stay the goal, whatever. Because, you know, coming up is the 1-year anniversary of when we first
Had
met
the conversation.
to talk about this.
And when you sent me that 4-page letter, I'm
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Shout out
I
to
mean,
Leah,
shout out. Listen, I gotta say, like, this happened because of that, and I had my vision, and I knew what I wanted to do. But I'm happy that that happened, and that we doing this, how we doing it together, because this shit, it make it fun. Like, I enjoy it. You know, everything is organic, and like you said, like, we are in real time experiencing milestones that we are celebrating in real time, not having to look back on it and celebrate it. We like in real time witnessing this, and it's amazing to be a part of. So I'm definitely grateful for this experience.
Sure.
Pivot real quick before we end it, because we're gonna land the plane, because we got to get to the Tom Burger and actually be at the grand opening. But long story short, one thing I was gonna say, going all the way back to the whole parenting thing, I was gonna say that a lot of men don't understand about how women measure a man's parenting, especially as a. You waited too long. We're gonna get you some fresh fries.
My nigga gave me cheese fries.
Oh, he gave you cheese fries. Oh, that's what the fuck. So
Bad review. It's like, no.
So when men gotta understand how women gauge it, especially if you're a baby dad and not in a relationship. If you're a baby dad, your baby mom is not measuring your parenting ability on what you do for your kid. She's measuring it on how much you relieve her of her responsibilities. So if you get your kid 50% of the time and you pay for everything when the kid's with you, she not counting your 50. She's only counting what you do when the child is with her, that
her
she
50.
can see that she's being relieved of. She not counting the time you spend with the child when she's occupied. She's counting the time you spend with the child when she needs free time. And I feel like if you understand that that's how women barometer work, you understand that you're not a bad parent because you don't do what she tell you to do when she tell you to do it. You're a bad parent if you're just not doing right by your kids, or you don't have good intentions, or you're not doing what you're supposed to do as a father. But if you're doing what you got to do and it's not to her liking or her level, it's because women are selfish. They gonna think it's smart, but it's the truth, and they can only see what they losing or gaining. So she look at it like, yeah, you got them or her every week, but at the same time, that's the weeks I work, so I don't have free time. But it's like, what the fuck that got to do with
Girl
it?
math.
Girl math. So are you paying for everything when they with you, but you're not paying for everything when they, but it's like, nah, if it's to be 50-50 in a co-parenting situation, I feel like it should be 100-100, but at the end of the day, the kids should get what they need. But if it is a 50-50 situation, your 50 don't count when the child is with you. It only count when you relieve them of the 50% that they got to do. And it goes to the whole relief situation. Like I talk about in the household, they don't look at it like, oh, you pay all the bills. They look at it like, you went out to Disney World, you came home, and it's still task in the house that you got to be taken care of. But you got to understand, man to man, your responsibility is your responsibility. As long as I don't got to handle your responsibility, I don't have nothing to say. If my responsibility get challenging and becomes very difficult, I got to find a solution that makes it easy for me. I can't be mad at you and want to throw some of my responsibilities on you. But, you know, they math just don't work like that. So I really wanted to highlight that for the men, because there was times where I believed I was a bad dad because, no, I'm lying. I never thought I was a bad dad. I always knew I was a good dad. But I believed that
You could be better.
what they said hurted me. I didn't believe it, but it hurted me. What they said hurted me because I didn't understand why they didn't understand what I was doing. Like, how you don't understand that I'm doing this, that, and the third. But I'm like, yo, you know why? Because she don't see it. She only see when she got her. So she think if she pay for 100% of the shit when she got her, then nothing else happens when she's not with her. And that's what made me realize, you cut them a check, that's when they start to be like, oh, yeah, you're doing your thing. No, that's just because I relieved you of some shit. It's not because I'm doing anything better or different. It's almost to the point where they wouldn't even care if you never seen the child if you made their life easier by cutting the check. And that's just their math. But we'll land it there because, you know, we really do got to go. The nigga texted me. That's why I keep looking at my phone. And, you know, we got to make our way to Tom Burger. Right. Make sure y'all go. And another thing I didn't mention about Tom Burger is it's completely halal. So that's something that y'all need to understand and know. Let me get that back.
Franchise place, right?
You know, Tom Burger. If we can get, like, get my camera. Yeah, make sure y'all go visit Tom Burger, 9858 Bustleton Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They got some of the best burgers I've ever had. They got this Tom sauce that's extremely good. They got cheesy fries, cheese sticks. They got some of the best milkshakes, and even their lemonade is good. You know, they so thorough that, which I showed y'all in the beginning, that they give you napkins with your food. You know what I mean? So
gloves.
With gloves, I'm talking about napkins. Chris, they give you gloves with your food.
No napkins, just gloves.
They give you both. But make sure y'all go check out Tom Burger. It's coming to a city near you, coming to a spot near you. But right now, you can catch it in Philadelphia, 9858 Bustleton Avenue in the Northeast Philadelphia section. And I am an active customer. I always
Lemonade
go
seem
there.
fresh.
It's fresh and
Yeah.
it's minty.
Yep.
But they got different type of lemonade. They got watermelon, all types of stuff. Make sure I go tap in with Tom Burger, and we'll go from there. But y'all already know, man. We always say, man, as y'all let people know we grow, and we just want y'all to get 1% better every day. This right here is a billboard, which is currently occupied by Her Fantasy Box.
Shout
But
out
it
to
can
them.
be big shout out to Her Fantasy Box. Big shout out. But it can also be occupied by you. So hit us up with Network WSE@gmail.com for any advertising and any promotion or any sponsorships. And make sure you follow us on Instagram at WIFNetwork.WSC. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on the WIF Network YouTube channel. And make sure you download the WIF Has Spoken podcast on all platforms. Follow me at WIF WSC. And where can they find you at?
Right on Q Live, as in the right side on Q. Stop switching the damn camera, nigga. Right on Q Live, as in the right side on QUE. Right on Q Live.
Yeah, man. So until next time, man, we want y'all to continue to get better. Don't gatekeep this information. Let people know. If y'all see something that y'all want us to discuss, feel free to hit us up. And as always, we appreciate the love that y'all continue to show to help us grow. Until next time, man, we out. The WIF Has Spoken. Shout out Tom Burger.